So firstly, there seems to be a little bit of confusion about what ether actually is. Is it a force? What's the difference between ether and the etheric body? And how are we to understand that word? The word ether is nothing new. It's basically a concept and something, a phenomenon in nature that humanity has known about for thousands of years. In ancient India, it was called prana. And so if we wanted to give it a name that is most easily understood, we could just simply call it the life force. It's the force that is life and creates life, because matter on its own has no life. And so this is from where then the notion of the etheric body comes, the life body, which is this invisible body of life forces that keeps us alive. And we can easily see it when that life force body is present, because the moment it is no longer present, you're looking at a corpse. Basically, the difference between a corpse and a living human being is the presence of the life body, the etheric body. And of course, human beings are not the only ones that have an etheric body. Whether I say etheric body or life body, it's the same thing. Plants also have life bodies because they're alive. Animals also have life bodies. Everything that is alive has a life body, an etheric body. But of course, in each case, the etheric body is different, because every species has a different shape, has different organs, has different functions. And that is reflected in the etheric body. It's actually the etheric body that is the force that communicates the form to all the individual molecules in the body. Otherwise, matter would not know where to go if it wasn't for the etheric body. And so when I say that the etheric body is the carrier of the form, that is only one function of the etheric body and the ether generally. And so that's how the confusion often arises when we ask ourselves the question, what's the difference between the ether and the etheric body? It's very interesting. We can look at different contexts. So from one perspective, the etheric is like a force out in nature. So it is a force we see in nature, all around us, but it's also a force within our body. Rudolf Steiner actually, when he looked at the etheric, he realized that there's actually a combination of 4 different forces. And the 4 forces, which we call the 4 ethers, they together make up what we call the etheric. So you could ask, how is it that there's 4 separate forces that can make up what we've always thought was one force? And I'll give you an analogy how you could view that. And when we speak about physical substance, about matter, we can distinguish between different substances such as oxygen, hydrogen, atomic structures, molecules, and so on. This is where all matter is considered to be physical substance. With the physical substance now, I can now divide that physical substance into different categories. I can say there's solid substance, there's substance in a liquid form, in the gaseous form, and in an energy form. And in each different state of being, it shows a different behavioral pattern. And so it's meaningful to create that division between the 4 elements. And that leads to all sorts of other possibilities that we cannot go into. Just enough to say that it is a very useful distinction. And the same applies to the etheric force. It's very useful to be able to distinguish it into warmth ether, light ether, sound ether, and life ether. And so, again, we can make the comparison with physical substance. We see matter everywhere around us. The whole planetary system, the whole cosmos consists of matter, but so does my physical body. So I can look at matter from the perspective of just my physical body, or I could look at matter from the perspective of the universe. And the same is true for the etheric. I can look at the etheric just from the perspective of my etheric body, or I can look at the etheric from the perspective of the etheric universe, which of course is spread around all around us, everywhere, just like the air we breathe. And so when you look at the role and the function of the ether, of course, there are lots of different aspects to it. In our physical body, the ether creates the life and the form. Out there in the universe, it is a matrix, a medium through which many, many other forces can come in and make contact with the physical substance of our earth. And so you could think of the etheric ocean that surrounds us as the medium through which spirit is able to manifest in matter. And so you will find when you look at this manifestation process, it touches the warmth ether, the light ether, the sound ether, and at the very last stage, it penetrates through into the physical matter and the life ether. It is a gradual incarnation process. And if it wasn't for the etheric forces, this would not be possible.